Welcome back. In last video we looked at the player, the humanoid and the character and how we can get access to them in our code. So we're going to start just a new little project here, and we're going to create a pickup that the player can run over and pick up off the ground. So let's open up a flat terrain project, and once you have it open, just save it as a different version, or you can name it pickup if you like. So let's save our file, and in my case I'm just going to use the current version I'm working on here, and we'll publish it as well. So publish to Roblox. I'll just update the existing file. You can make a new place if you wish. And we are ready to go. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is create a spawn point in our game. So click on model, come over to spawn point, and I'll just turn around this way so we're facing the front, and in front of our spawn point we're going to create a part that we will pick up. So this part that we put in here as a pickup could be anything. It could be grapes, it could be gold or coins or whatever it is that you want to pick up. So we don't necessarily need to make it look that way, but we will rename it to be pickup part so we know what it is. Alright, and we can change its color if you like to something else. We'll make this perhaps like a gold bar or something like that. Marble, and there we go. So we've got our part. The only other thing we might want to do, oh, that's neon, that's a bit bright, isn't it? Metal, there we go. Alright, so down here let's click on anchored so that it stays where it is, and we'll leave can collide on at the moment, although we could turn that off. Alright, and there are reasons to do that, and I'll explain that a bit later when we actually get to our camping game in the next section. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is add a script to our part. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to have the player run over this and pick it up. So when you pick up something, the natural thing is that it will disappear. So to get started, let's rename our script to be pickup script. And we want to get access to this part because this is the one that we're working with. So local, and we'll say pickup equals script.parent. We only want this to occur once, so we will use a debounce. So debounce equals true. Alright, now we can put in our touched function, our event. So pickup is what we're working with. Touched is the event, and we want to connect. So we use the colon with the connect after it. Alright, and we'll put in function. And initially we need to know what is touching the pickup. So we put in here hit. So remember, when the player runs into this part, it's a part of the character. So like its foot or hand or head or whatever it might be is touching that part. Okay? And from that, because those parts like the head or the hand, etc., are children of the character, we can create a character variable, and we can say hit.parent, because any of the parts of the character, like the hand or the head, its parent will be the character. Okay. Then underneath this, we want to find the humanoid in that character. So character colon, okay, find first child, and we're looking for the humanoid. So every time something touches the pickup, it's going to look for these things. And this is where we can put in our conditional statement here. So if db, so that is true, and humanoid returns true, then we want to run some code. Because we only want to run it once, we will change db to false, and then later we'll put in a wait statement of say 2 seconds, and we'll change db back to true. Alright, so make sure that this wait and resetting is inside of your conditional statement here. Okay, so don't put this outside because that will cause problems. Alright, so once we've worked out that we're working with a character and it's a humanoid, what is it that we want to do? Well, we said we wanted to make the part disappear. Alright, so if you remember, transparency is something that makes the part disappear. So we can say pickup dot transparency equals 1. Alright, so 0 is fully visible, 1 is completely invisible. Now the other thing, and I mentioned it about can collide, even though it's invisible, the player will still be able to run into it. So we need to turn that off. So pickup dot can collide equals false. It is a boolean, so like a checkbox. Okay, and that will make our part actually disappear. Once they've picked it up, where we reset down here after a wait period and we allow them to pick it up again, we want it to reappear. So what we can do is just copy and paste, Command C or Control C underneath the wait statement, and we reverse these. So instead of 1, we make the transparency 0, and we set can collide back to true. Alright, and there is our code at the moment. So let's try that and see how it works. So just before we get into it, I'll just check, yes, it is anchored, because if it's not anchored it can cause problems. Let's play and see if that works for us. And there's our part, it's my player, there it goes, and it comes back again. So run over it, it disappears, can't run over it, comes back, disappears. So there we have a pickup that the player can pick up and it will reappear in the same spot. When we get to the camping project very shortly, I'll show you how we can actually make things spawn. So making it disappear like this and reappear is not really spawning, and we'll talk more about how to do that when we get to it, but also how to make it appear in different positions. So if you don't want it just to appear in the same position every time and be predictable, then we can also work with that. Alright, so that's our code, very basic code here for making a pickup that disappears and reappears. So I'll see you in the next video, and we're going to make a model that we're going to use in our camping project. So I'll see you then.